Hey guys, did you know, okay, did you know that in Vietnam, all right, in Vietnam, owls are a harbinger of death? Isn't that weird? Owls, you know, hoot hoot owl, you know, OVO, owl, that type of owl. Cool thing though, here's the cool thing. The reason why they're harbingers of death is that when you see an owl, it represents it means someone's soul is about to be taken. But here's the kicker though. The owl doesn't get to enjoy in the feast. Isn't that cool? It's kind of dope, eh? Could you imagine doing all that work and then not even be able to like feast yourself? Like the owl gets exploited by the other souls only for them to come and eat, and then he gets nothing in the end, you know? What an odd dynamic though that is. Like, why is that? So I keep thinking about that. Why is that? Like, why does the owl not get to eat, you know? I mean, if he was the one to put the target on the like on the poor soul, why doesn't he get to eat, you know? I don't know. Yeah, owls, eh? Yeah, they're bad luck over here. Isn't that weird? Owls are bad luck in Vietnam. Who would have thunk? I mean, it relates to the whole Vietnam War and, you know, some sort of politician being used almost as a puppet or a Trojan horse for the American military to come in and sort of do their thing. But yeah, isn't that wild? If you see an owl, things are not going to turn out well for you, you know? Strange. Hoot, hoot. You know, hoot, 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 hoot. Hoot. Food. You know what I should do? I should start eating out more, you know? I've been thinking, maybe I should buy more food outside. You know, as a single male, right? As a young single male, right? With no food at home, I feel like I should go out and buy my food, you know? You know how odd it would be for a man who has plenty of food at home, a well-stocked fridge, to go out and still pay for his meals? That'd be very strange, isn't it? Now, some of you wondering, what the hell are you talking about, Sonny? It's a metaphor, guys, for something else. Something else in life. I'm just saying, like, as long as like your meals, like if I want to buy my meal, I want my chicken to be free range, you know? I don't want the chicken to be exploited in any way, or the chicken should be able to make its own decisions, you know, as to whether it wants to be eaten or not. But like, if I got a full stock fridge at home, I mean, the last thing I should be doing is going out and buying meals, you know? If you're a single guy, I mean, buy as many meals as you want, you know? You don't got any food at home, maybe you don't like cooking, you know? But I mean, if you're gonna buy your meals, just make sure the chicken is free range. You know, I don't want, like, nobody wants to eat like a chicken that suffered, you know? Nobody wants to. I want ethically sourced chicken, you know? If I'm gonna buy my chicken if I'm gonna buy a meal, I want to make sure like the meal came from an ethical source of whatever, you know? You get what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like if there's like a McDonald's in your country, for example, right? I know for a fact that things are good here, you know? Like, you're gonna live a long life if there's a McDonald's in your country. Did you know that? If there's a McDick's in your country, you're gonna live a very, very long life. You guys are probably thinking that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? It does though. Really think about this one. If your country doesn't have a McDonald's, I am willing to bet, all right, that the infant mortality is not only through the roof, but longevity, like your age, is very low as well. People die probably at a very young age. Isn't that weird? Because you associate McDonald's with like junk food, poor diet, but if your nation has that, things aren't too bad, you know? So if I'm gonna eat out, you know, that's the beauty of capitalism, isn't it? The beauty of capitalism is if I want to eat, I can have any need satisfied, you know? You don't have to resort to really bad things to have those needs satisfied. Just make sure nobody's being exploited against their will, really. That's all you gotta do. But yeah. Yeah. Fishes. There's lots of fishes here too, though. By a fish pond. Really big fish pond. The fishes here are well fed, though. Fine. A lot of well fed fishes. They seem very happy here too in this pond. I don't know what it is, but the fishes seem very, very happy here. You know, well fed, looked after. Seem happy. Yeah, if I'm gonna eat, you know, I should be able to like, I should be able to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, you know? Especially if you're like, if you don't got any food at home, I mean, why would you go, I mean, imagine taking, now you might be saying, well, why don't you just go buy food and then cook it and then leave it? Yeah, but that takes a lot of time and effort, you know? Sometimes you might be preparing a meal for like, I don't know if you guys can see me. Sometimes you could be preparing a meal for like, I don't know, days, weeks, months even. And nothing comes to fruition, you know? What do you do, you know? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do as a single young man, you know? Well, you just go out and buy yourself a well-prepared meal, you know? A meal's already been prepared for you. And then you go about on your merry way again. Right? But the caveat here is like the meal has to come from somewhere ethically sourced, you know? Like I don't wanna, nobody wants to eat chicken that's like suffering, you know, or suffered, sorry. I don't wanna eat chicken that's suffered. Also, I don't wanna eat chicken that didn't wanna be there either, you know? I mean, the winds of change. The winds of change. You guys want to see some fish though? Check this out. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Look how happy they look, you know? Look at that. Frolicking. None of them are fighting with each other. They look very plump too, you know? They look very well fed. Happy even. These fish will never leave this pond, you know? They don't have to. These fish seem very, very content, you know? They seem very zen, these fish. Very, very zen fish, you know? Very zen. Zen fish. I looks like it's gonna rain soon. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I was thinking about the other day too? Like, you know, like growing up, like guys are like guys tend to not like what we term as cock blocks. You know, guys who like get in the way of another guy. It's like a really bad thing to do. You know, to another person. But imagine like cock blocking someone's like potential. You know. Could you imagine getting in the way of someone like fulfilling their potential in a lot of ways, you know? Which is kind of crazy. Like, hey, why would you go why would you go out of your way to prevent someone from being who they are? Isn't that weird? And I was trying to relate it to like the mind of a cock block. Why does a cock block, you know? Some of it is just like, you know, I mean, plain old like in the way behavior, you know? I mean, to quote Bill Burr, some people are just in the way people. They're obstructionists in a lot of ways, you know? Obstructionists. And nobody likes an obstructionist, you know? Because the one thing to get in the way, like if you feel like you're doing something to prevent like something bad from happening, I get it, right? I mean, prevention is good, you know? Prevention is good. Prevention is good. But like you're not, I mean, if you're just trying to like, I don't know, like be who you are, you know? Like you're not even trying to hurt anybody. You're just trying to like do you know? And like you're preventing someone from doing that. I mean, what's wrong with you, man? I don't know. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, they're very, I mean, in Vietnam, superstition is like, it's a really big thing here. Like, luck, you know, luck. The concept of luck goes like very long over here. Like it's it means a lot here. Odd though, how an owl is like seen as a harbinger of like bad luck. I mean, we don't associate that in the West, you know, with owls. With owls, we associate like wisdom, foresight, you know, like almost like a watchman, you know, being up all night. Yeah, it's odd. You know? Hey man. How's it going? You want to say hi? Hi. Hi. Nice bike, man. I like your bike. Oh, those are cool Crocs. Look at your Crocs, man. That's cool Crocs. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Yeah. What was I trying to get at? Oh yeah, whatchamacallit? Luck, owls, harbingers of bad luck, you know? Odd, you know? That if you see an owl, it means... Because the owl is usually the one being exploited, you know? The owl doesn't get to eat. The owl almost sort of like... almost like a lure in a lot of ways. Like it... Oh, my hair is a mess. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, like the owl is sort of like like a lure, you know? Like a lures a poor soul in, or it's almost like a Trojan horse in a lot of ways. Like all these ghosts are coming in to consume the soul, but the owl, the stuff doesn't get to feast. You know? Hoot hoot! Hoot hoot hoot! Yeah. This one doesn't have a theme to it, I feel like. I don't know. Ooh, you know, I mean, like, if you're hungry, you know, like, if you're hungry, you should eat, you know? Otherwise, if you wait too long, right? If you wait too long to eat, like, if you're, like, starved for a while, and then all you're thinking about is food, 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 you know? If you're missing a few meals, I mean, the only thing on the top of your mind is this food. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You need to satisfy your hunger, you know? Obviously through legitimate channels, you know? You don't want to, like, just steal a bunch of food, you know? You don't want to take food against someone's will. You don't want to do that, you know? But the cool thing about, like, capitalism, you know, which is, like, the bedrock of most civilization, you know, like, needs being fulfilled with the exchange and transaction of this currency, you know? That's what we do, you know? Your needs, everything that goes into making who you are as a person, you know? Now, are some needs free? I would say no. Nothing in this world is free, guys. Nothing in this world is free. All right. Now you guys may be thinking, oh, what about, like, unconditional love from your mother and father? Yes, that's the only thing. Actually, yeah, that's the only thing that's free, really. Yeah, the unconditional love between a parent and a child is probably the only thing. Well, if you come from a good, you know, household, that's probably the only thing you can really, like, you don't really have to worry about, you know? It's kind of one way too. Like, if you're on the receiving end of it as a child, like, you don't really have to, like, which is good, you know? I mean, you want to develop as a person. You don't want to, the last thing a kid needs is to be loved conditionally, you know? It's going to screw you up, you know? You don't want that, so. But everything else, I mean, once you're an adult, that's it. Like, you gotta take care of your needs, you know? Things then become transactional, you know? You become a contributing member of society. You participate in the economy. That's how it works. Nobody likes a freeloader, and we all know it, you know? Somebody who's a little too parasitic or asks a little too much. And you can feel it sometimes when you're saying yes too much and you feel like, wow, I'm giving this person way too much for nothing in return. Nobody likes that, obviously, you know? But then why are some things, you know, holier than thou? That's what doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, even amongst partners, like, let's say you're in a relationship with someone. I mean, it's never unconditional. You know? That's not how relationships work. You don't have, like, yeah, you don't have, there's no such thing as unconditional love. An adult to adult relationship, that doesn't make any sense. Like, a child parent, I get. A child could do a number of things, and the parent will love them unconditionally. You know what I'm talking about? Whereas if you're an adult and, like, another adult like does something really bad, you're not gonna stick with this person. You're gonna end the relationship, and rightfully so, you know. Are you gonna stick with a person for like through thick and thin? No. Especially if it's like they're like damaging to you and your well-being. Like, why would you do that? Yeah, why would you do that? Also, like, yeah, why would you? Oh, you know what that makes me think of? There's like this great bit from like the great Louis C.K. where he talks about like the relationship with like his daughter versus like his wife. He's like, this child is like, whoa, like it's like part of you, you know, like you will do anything, like you will kill for this child, like you realize when you have this kid, like, whoa, like now you understand what like unconditional love is. But then he's like, this adult, this person, I don't give a shit about this person, like this. I mean, he obviously said it in a much, I mean, he delivered it way funnier than the way I just did it, but like the gist of it is like, the relationship you have with your partner is drastically different than like the only, yeah, like I said, the only like version of unconditional love is between a parent and child, right? And then we extrapolate that into like religions, you know, being like God the Father versus us the child, like the children of God. That's what it is. I mean, it's the same thing, the unconditional love between. However, here's what's messed up though, you know? Here's what's crazy about that. Cause like most like I get it. Okay, so like we're like the children of God. God is like benevolent. He loves us unconditionally. Cool. He will do anything for you, you know? No matter what you do, he'll love you, he'll take you in no matter what. Cool. Here's what's weird though. This guy, like he took his kid and then he made us like destroy his kid for us, you know, like his actual kid. Isn't that weird? Could you imagine as a parent, like you take your son or daughter and you have your son or daughter just completely destroyed, humiliated, bullied beyond belief by their classmates, by everyone around them, just so like they can like, so everybody else can like get away scot-free for like, you're gonna like, you abandon your own child, like you abandon your own child and then you decide to parent all these other children who don't even belong to you. Does anybody like, do you catch how like crazy that is? Like God destroyed his only son so he can parent us. Who does that? Imagine sacrificing your kid for the world, you know? You know how nuts that is? To sacrifice your only son for the world? Could you imagine like you as a parent, you have like, let's say you have your own kids and then also in your family you have adopted children, okay? So it's a mixed family, adopted and your own kids. And then you decide to like, you know, overlook the needs of your kid and take into account the adopted ones. Hey man, isn't that wild? It's crazy. And that does tend to happen too in real life. Like there's cases where, you know, in mixed families, it's usually the opposite. Like usually the parent tends to either neglect the kid that doesn't belong to them and play favorites with their own kid. And then you get like strange like dynamics in these families. It gets kind of like dysfunctional. But could you imagine the opposite though? Like you overlook your own kid and decide to pay more attention to like these kids that don't even belong to you. But I mean, obviously we do belong to him, I mean to God. But it is wild though, you know, like sacrificing your only kid for like the world. Could you imagine? Would you do that? Imagine like you had to like save the world, right? Like you knew like the world was gonna end and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna sacrifice my only kid so the rest of this world can like survive forever. How many people can actually do that though? I mean, obviously you would have to, because like if the world's gonna end, or I mean, it sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but anyways, if the world's gonna end and you decide to save your kid, then you die. You and the kid die anyways because you're part of the world. So obviously, like, you're gonna sacrifice your kid, otherwise nobody lives, you know? Otherwise, I mean, unless you're like so selfish, you're like, you know what? I don't want to live in this world without my kid, so you decide to take you, the kid, and everybody else out with you. In which case, I would say that's pretty gangster. That's a badass. That's a pretty badass move to take yourself and the kid out and everybody else with you. You know, I mean, if I ain't gonna win, then nobody's winning, really, right? I mean, that's how it works. But that's not what you want to do, you know. That's not. I don't know, why was I talking about this? Oh yeah, unconditional love, yeah. Oh yeah, because I got off on a tangent. Yeah, so like, you know, like your needs have to be met. Yeah, so your needs do have to be like, as an adult, you know, like you have to like, as an adult, you're now like motivated internally, you know, you can't rely on another adult to have your needs met. And like I said, nothing in this world is free. There's a give and take to everything, you know. Someone who claims that not to be true is like, you have to like run away from a person like that. That's a person who's either lying to you and they're doing that so you just like screw up, or they believe themselves they actually operate in that function, like in that fashion, like where they just like believe certain things are just free, you know, like, in which case like that's a person who will probably violate someone's boundaries to take what they feel they're entitled to, you know. You don't want that, you know. You don't want. But like I said, yeah, I mean, ideally you would want someone to like love you as an adult unconditionally, but then I mean, like I said, that's dangerous though. Like, could you imagine you're in a relationship with someone who loves you unconditionally? Imagine how much power you would have in that relationship, to know full well you can do anything and this person will still do anything for you. Like, imagine for a second that I have food at home, right? I have a well-stocked food, I have plenty of food to eat at home, but I still decide to go out and eat. I still go outside to pay for some meals, and like the food at home still tolerates me for some strange reason. Why? Maybe the food at home stinks, you know? Maybe the food at home isn't like, it's gamey, you know, it tastes gamey. It's a little old, you know? Maybe it has a little bit of fungus on it, you know? The bread has a little bit of fungus on it. You don't want that. The flavor is very bland, you know? Maybe the food outside food tastes better, you know? Maybe it does. But then what you do is you get rid of the food in the fridge at home, you know? Show some respect. I don't know. It's disrespectful, you know? Very how can you know how disrespectful it is to have food at home, and the food at home fully knows that you're going out to buy meals every night or every other night or every week, whatever schedule you're on, you know? I don't know. But here's the thing, you know, I mean, if the food at home knows you have the option to go out and purchase a meal, you know, whenever, wherever, maybe the food in the fridge will you know, start taking care of itself more, you know. Maybe the food in the fridge will I don't know, add a little more flavor or spice to itself, you know, make it more make it more alluring, you know, more appetizing, you know. You know, make it taste a little strange, you know, sometimes. Otherwise, I mean, if you can buy food outside and that option is available, I mean, why would you eat the same food at home? Not even the same food, but the food at home that, I mean, you could have that all the time, like literally every day, day in, day out, the same meal. You don't want that. You want something different, you know? Something different. But here's the thing though, I mean, the thing is, it's irrational to be like, I mean, why would you like commit to that, you know? If you know full well what that entails, like having to have, if you're gonna commit to eating food at home every night, I mean, you nailed that nail in your coffin, bro. I mean, nobody told you to do that. You should have known what the ramifications of that are, you know? But like I said, if you're a single male, I mean, you don't like cooking, or sometimes the preparation just takes too long and maybe nothing comes from this preparation, you know? When you're prepping, you're trying to prep this food for a meal, but it's just not, resonating, you know? You're like, why am I wasting my time prepping all this food when I could just go buy a meal, you know, a ready-made meal, and then go about my way again, go about my life. I could just do whatever I want after. And then I'm no longer hungry. It's no longer the top of my mind anymore. I'm not constantly thinking about my next meal because I'm not starving, you know? Yeah. Sounds simple though, doesn't it, eh? But I don't know, for some strange reason, some meals are holier than thou, you know? I don't know why. Why is food holier than thou? You know, it's not special, guys. Food isn't special. That's kind of the issue here too, you know. That's probably what it, I mean, could you imagine if I decided to make water like, I don't know, the only thing you can't buy is the love of a child, you know. You can't buy the love of a child. Can you buy the love of a child? As a parent, can you buy the love of a child? Or will the child know? I guess you can, but I don't think it's gonna be love, because then now you made it conditional, which means that the child will only reciprocate when the child receives something from you, you know? So it's bad for both parties, both the parent and the child, really. Yeah, unconditional love only really works between parent and child. And if you're of the religious persuasion, I guess between God the Father and you, the child. But well, like I said, it's a hierarchical relationship, you know? You don't get unconditional love between parties. It's conditional. That's why there's divorce, you know? You need it. But can you trust, I mean, it's higher. I mean, can you trust a parent to love a child? Yeah, I guess yeah. It's like so obvious, you know, like people, I mean, the love between a mother and a child is like, you know what happens at birth? Like a woman's brain gets flooded with like oxytocin. You know, that's the same like love feeling you get from like using like MDMA, Molly. Could you imagine like her brain just floods with oxytocin the second this baby comes out? So the bond is like, only when there's like some sort of issue like during childbirth, or like maybe there's something wrong with like this chemical bond, then you get like issues, right? And the child also has like issues as a result of that. But like I said, nature endows women to like just love their child unconditionally, and you need that to develop, you know, as a normal person. But like adult to adult, it's just not gonna happen, you know? Nobody, like when you fall in love with someone, you don't like your brain doesn't flood with oxytocin, and then you're just bonded to this person. And it's not good, like I said, because like you can't trust another person to their devices. Like that's a lot of power to give to somebody. They're gonna abuse it, you know. Which is probably what happens like in abusive relationships. Like just one person probably loves the other person way more, like way more than they should, or just blind to all like the flaws. I don't know. Yeah. So then if you're gonna like enter into a relationship, don't love the other person. I don't know what to do. But like I said, if you're a single person, you should be able to eat your meal ready-made, you know. But like I said, it has to be ethically sourced, you know. You want free-range chickens, you know. You want fully grown free-range chickens, you know, who decided to let you eat them. That's what you want, you know. You don't want caged animals ending up on your plate, you know. It just isn't, it's not a good look, you know. It doesn't help your argument either, you know. So there you have it, you know. If you're a single guy, go out and buy as many meals as you want. I don't care. Nobody cares, I don't care, okay? However, if you have food at home and you're still buying meals, I mean, the food at home has two, I mean, the food at home could do one or two things. It can either, you know, stick around and just look the other way, in which case, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can if you can handle that, then by all means, but like, or you make yourself more appetizing as a meal, and maybe this guy won't go out to restaurants every other night, you know. Or if you have some self-respect, you know, as a meal, as a 3-course meal, you decide, you know what, maybe I should store myself in somebody else's fridge, you know, or pantry. You know, someone may respect you. Maybe somebody else might respect you as a meal, you know. Maybe they like your flavor, you know. Maybe they like bland. I don't know. Look. Or what am I getting with this? Okay, I'm saying is like I like to eat meals. I like to buy my meals from time to time because I don't like prepping. You know, it's a lot of work. I don't like food prep, you know? Ugh. Also, I mean, I don't like giving that much power to someone too. I don't know. Like I said, when you have options, it means you won't have to like, well, for sure, you won't be beholden to someone, but also it means you won't have to like worry about starving, you know? Because when you're starving, it means you're more likely to do things you wouldn't normally do just to like get your fix, you know? Like, you know, like Dave Chappelle, you don't remember the crackhead, just like, it's like, I suck you dick for some crack. You know, like you become an addict to it. Like, I mean, because you need it so much, you're willing to do anything for it. But if you can get your meal, you know, if you get your meal whenever you want, you know, through legitimate channels, you know, like I said, we live in a free market economy, you know, that's the beauty of civilization. And then, like I said, eat your meal, then go about your merry way. Who cares? I don't know. I hope this offends some people. You know? Hey. Like I said, the fish here look very well fed, you know? They seem very happy here, very zen. There's no complex here for I mean, I don't know why, but apparently maybe the church didn't make it this far. Definitely no Madonna whore complex here. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, you know what's wild though? When I went to the museum here, the images of what Agent Orange did, which is wild. Like the pictures almost look like you're in hell, you know? like the deformities it caused, like the burns, it literally looked like hell on earth, which is wild. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. They look like hell on earth during the 70s, yeah. In Vietnam. Yeah. And owls are a harbinger of death. Remember that. Never trust an owl, guys. Never trust an owl. Owls are Trojan horses, apparently. Who would have thunk, you know? But anyways, I'm gonna end this one here. I like dirty white girls, dirty white girls, dirty white girls. French rap sucks.